Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today we continue to build commander decks led by the legendary creatures from the Final Fantasy set. Leading today's deck is the main bad guy of Final Fantasy IV, Golbez Crystal Collector. Also, and I know it's annoying to keep hearing this, but statistically if I don't ask you to like and subscribe, the video gets fewer subscribers. Golbez Crystal Collector is a 2-mana 1/4 legendary human wizard. Whenever an artifact we control enters, we surveil 1. At the beginning of our end step, if we control 4 or more artifacts, we return target creature card from our graveyard to our hand. Then, if we control 8 or more artifacts, each opponent loses life equal to that card's power. Okay, so we want artifacts, and a lot of them, as well as some big creatures that we can bring back from the graveyard in order to deal as much damage as possible to our opponents. Ideally, we'll want ways to return those creatures to our graveyard, so we can bring them back again the next turn. Ooh, and maybe there's a card in our color identity that will give us an extra end step. Maybe. Of course, I did want to talk about the elephant in the room, our commander. Now, the Final Fantasy set was kind enough to give us 5 crystals, along with a whole bunch of cards that reference the crystals. The problem is, the 2 crystals that are in our color identity don't really fit with what our deck is trying to do. So, Golbez, you're going to have to work harder to find those crystals. But why is Golbez a reanimator? How does collecting crystals have anything to do with bringing back creatures from our graveyard, or with collecting artifacts? Well, all of the crystals in the Final Fantasy Magic set are artifacts, so that tracks. Also, Golbez specifically collects 8 crystals. The 4 crystals of light from the above-ground world, and the 4 crystals of darkness from the underground world. You know, where dwarves come from. So, 8 crystals. Or, in the case of his card, 8 artifacts. Additionally, he has 4 archfiends that serve him, 1 for each element. These 4 are not only the strongest in Golbez's army, they serve as his generals. They're not just mindless beasts. Of course, our heroes defeat the 4 of them, but later on, they are resurrected and given a second chance to stop Cecil and his companions. This explains the reanimation part of Golbez. Now, I wanted to try and keep this deck budget, but there were a few $10 cards that I felt were important to this deck's plan, so the deck is about $110, at least at the time of recording. But we are a Bracket 2 deck, so you shouldn't have a problem playing this as a casual table. Before we get to our deck list, a quick word from our sponsor, Ultimate Guard. The Return to Earth Boulder series is unique in that they are made almost entirely of renewable resources, rather than plastic. And lately, Ultimate Guard has been printing these not just in solid colors, but with artist print, like the new Squaros series. As part of a set, you can call upon the Ninja Turtles to protect your commander decks, like this one featuring Leonardo. Pick yours up today at your local game store or order it on Amazon. Link down below. In order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Oh, one more quick announcement before we get started. I'm currently streaming over on Gaming with Danon as well as Twitch. It'll mostly be Final Fantasy XIV, but you're more than welcome to pop in and talk about Commander. Honestly, about half my streams are talking about manga, anime, or Commander. For lands, we're running Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Drowned Catacomb, Contaminated Aquifer, Sunken Hollow, Tainted Isle, Darkwater Catacombs, Sunken Ruins, Underground River, Choked Estuary, Temple of Deceit, Mistvault Bridge, Dimir Guildgate, Dimir Aqueduct, Dismal Backwater, Jwar Island Refuge, Waterfront District, Submerged Boneyard, Salt Marsh, Bajuka Bog, Myriad Landscape, Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, 7 Islands, and 7 Swamps. Yes, that's a lot of tap lands, I know. Honestly, I'm not worried about it. We are a budget deck after all. Our mana ramp package consists of Dark Ritual, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Dominance, Dimir Signet, Mind Stone, Felwar Stone, Decanter of Endless Water, the Warring Triad, Skyclave Relic, Solemn Simulacrum, Wayfarer's Bauble, and Thrawn Dynamo. Mostly mana rocks, but Skyclave Relic is great in this deck. For card advantage, we've got Deadly Dispute, Idol of Oblivion, Lich Knight's Conquest, Treasure Map, Matoya Archon Elder, Rook Turret, Thought Monitor, Baleful Strix, Thoughtcast, Buried Alive, Violent Tumor, Burning Rune Demon, Search for Azcanta, Frantic Search, Windfall, Thirst for Knowledge, Thirst for Discovery, Thirst for Meaning, Jace Reawakened, Teferi Master of Time, Tezzeret Betrayer of Flesh, and Stern Lesson. Lots of ways to dig through our deck, but also lots of ways to discard cards, which is what we want. Our interaction and spot removal package consists of Access Denied, Spell Swindle, Noxious Gearhulk, Arcane Denial, Withering Torment, Negate, Pongify, Infernal Grasp, Feed the Swarm, Ashiok Dreamrender, Go for the Throat, and Espers to Magicite. That last one I figured was perfect for this deck. For board wipes, we've got Toxic Deluge, Aetherize, and Consuming Tide. Wanted to ensure we kept our opponents in line. The core of our deck consists of Mirror Battlesphere, Thopter Spy Network, Wormcoil Engine, Hangerback Walker, Y'shtola Rule, Metalwork Colossus, Ancient Stone Idol, Broodstar, Darksteel Juggernaut, Death Shadow, the Mind Skinner, and Emrakul the World Anew. What? It's not like we're gonna cast an Eldrazi Titan. Okay, maybe we will for the madness cost. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 50 mana sources split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp. Right on target. 22 pieces of card advantage. 12 pieces of interaction. 3 board wipes. 3 pieces of graveyard hate in Ashiok Dreamrender, Espers to Magicite, and Bojuka Bog. 1 Sudden Eye win card in Y'shtola Rule. Y'shtola Rule gives us an extra end step. If we can bring back Emrakul the World Anew when we have 8 artifacts on board, then maybe a Death Shadow on our second end step, we drain each opponent for 25. That might not win the game by itself, but if we're doing this on turn 6 or 7, after everyone's taken some damage, it very well could. The point is, having 2 end steps means we can potentially double our damage. And since we have enough card advantage that also doubles his discard, it shouldn't be hard to do it again next turn. But wait, Danon, when we do this, we'll become the archenemy. Everyone at the table will try to kill us as quickly as possible. Good thing we have interaction. Are you building a Golbez Crystal Collector Commander deck? What's your secret deck tech? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. You can have a video made or just ask for help building or tuning a deck list. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons. Waffles, Jiraiya, Muffins, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Alix, Borgie, Naswin, Conga, Robert, Pye, Kazaris, Patrick, Tiz, Art, Richard, Sent, Boomy, Osira, Justin, Golden Walker, Ernesto, Midge, and Captain Hammer. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.